Imagine a universe where the stars themselves tell stories, and the planets are alive with ancient magic. In this vast cosmos, there exists a planet called Xylar, a world of shimmering light and floating cities, where beings of unparalleled beauty and wisdom reside. Among them is Elara, a young and curious alien girl with eyes that shine like the auroras of her home planet. One fateful day, while exploring the outskirts of her world, Elara stumbles upon a hidden portal. Without fully understanding its power, she steps through it, only to find herself in a completely different reality, Earth. Disoriented and alone, she soon discovers that she possesses abilities far beyond those of ordinary humans. Her touch can heal wounds, her voice can calm storms, and her mere presence brings hope to those around her. Elara's arrival on Earth is not unnoticed. A group of shadowy figures, known as the Voidwalkers, seeks to harness her powers for their own nefarious purposes. They believe that her existence could tip the balance of power in their favor, allowing them to control both worlds. But Elara is not one to be easily swayed. With the help of a kind-hearted human named Ethan, she begins to uncover the truth about her past and the fate of her people. Ethan, a young man with a heart full of curiosity and courage, becomes Elara's unlikely protector. Together, they embark on a perilous journey across the globe, facing dangers at every turn. From ancient ruins hidden deep within the Amazon rainforest to the towering skyscrapers of futuristic Tokyo, they encounter allies and enemies alike. Each step brings them closer to the truth, but also deeper into the clutches of the Voidwalkers. As Elara and Ethan travel through the heart of an ancient forest, the air grows thick with energy. The trees seem to hum with life, their leaves shimmering in hues of gold and silver under the dappled sunlight filtering through the canopy. Elara feels a strange pull, as if the very earth itself is guiding her toward something long forgotten. She closes her eyes, letting the sensations wash over her, and when she opens them, she sees a faint outline of an ancient temple hidden deep within the foliage. "Come," Elara says softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "We must go there." Ethan, though wary, follows her without question. He has come to trust Elara's instincts, even if he doesn't fully understand the source of her knowledge. As they approach the temple, the ground beneath their feet shifts, revealing a hidden path lined with glowing stones. The air crackles with power, and Ethan can feel the weight of history pressing down on him. This place, he realizes, holds secrets older than time itself. Inside the temple, they find a room filled with artifacts, statues, scrolls, and relics that seem to pulse with an otherworldly energy. At the center of the room stands a massive crystal, its surface etched with intricate symbols that glow faintly in the dim light. Elara approaches the crystal, her hand trembling as she reaches out to touch it. The moment her fingers brush against the surface, visions flood her mind. A montage of events, both familiar and foreign. She sees her people, the Xylarians, living in harmony with their planet, their technology seamlessly integrated with nature. She watches as her ancestors fought off a great darkness that threatened to consume everything. And then, she sees herself, a child, being entrusted with a sacred mission. The crystal speaks to her, its voice echoing in her mind. "The balance of the universe depends on you, Elara. You are the key." Ethan, who has been watching in awe, steps closer. "What do you see?" he asks, his voice filled with concern. Elara takes a deep breath, her eyes still closed as she processes the overwhelming influx of information. When she finally opens them, she looks at Ethan with a newfound resolve. "I am the last of my kind," she says, her voice steady but tinged with sadness. "My people were wiped out by a cosmic event, and I was sent here to Earth to prevent something worse from happening." Ethan's heart clenches. But what? What could be worse? Elara's gaze hardens, and she points to the crystal. "The Voidwalkers are not just after me, they're trying to awaken the Elder Guard. If they succeed, it will destroy both Earth and Xylar. We need to stop them before it's too late." They leave the temple, their mission now clear. But the road ahead is fraught with danger. The Voidwalkers are closing in, and time is running out. Elara and Ethan must race against the clock, using their combined strengths to thwart the Voidwalkers' plans and restore balance to the universe. Their journey will take them to the farthest corners of the world, from the icy peaks of the Himalayas to the depths of the Mariana Trench, each step bringing them closer to the ultimate showdown. As they prepare for the final battle, Elara and Ethan realize that their bond goes beyond mere friendship. It is a connection forged in the fires of adversity, a partnership born of shared purpose. Together, they stand as the last hope for two worlds on the brink of destruction. Will they succeed in saving the universe, or will the forces of darkness claim all? Subscribe now to find out how their story unfolds and witness the epic battle between light and darkness. Join us on this incredible odyssey. In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, Elara and Ethan find themselves lost in a labyrinth of towering trees and dense underbrush. The air is thick with humidity, and the sounds of the jungle, birdsong, rustling leaves, and distant animal calls create an eerie symphony. Elara, with her heightened senses, can feel the presence of ancient energies pulsating through the land. She knows they are close to something important, something that could change everything. Ethan, though less attuned to the mystical, feels the same sense of anticipation. He grips his backpack tighter, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of danger. "Where are we going?" he asks, his voice barely audible over the sounds of the jungle. "To a place where the veil between worlds is thin," Elara replies, her voice calm yet urgent. "There we may find the answers we seek." They continue deeper into the forest, guided by Elara's intuition. The path becomes increasingly difficult to navigate, with vines and roots blocking their way. But Elara, with her alien strength, effortlessly clears a path for them. Ethan marvels at her abilities, realizing once again how much he has come to rely on her. After what feels like hours of walking, they reach a clearing. In the center stands a massive stone structure, its surface covered in intricate carvings that seem to shift and change as they watch. Elara approaches the structure cautiously, her hand reaching out to trace the carvings. "These are ancient maps," she says, her voice filled with wonder. "They show the locations of powerful artifacts scattered across the world." Ethan looks around, his eyes wide. "Artifacts? Like magical objects?" "Yes," Elara nods. "Objects imbued with immense power, capable of altering the course of history. The Voidwalkers are likely searching for these artifacts to complete their dark ritual. We must find them first." With renewed determination, Elara and Ethan set off on their next leg of the journey, knowing that the stakes have never been higher. Each step brings them closer to the truth, but also deeper into the clutches of their enemies. The path ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear: they cannot afford to fail. Their next destination is the ancient city of Machu Picchu, high in the Andes Mountains. As they ascend the steep, winding path, the air grows thinner, and the temperature drops dramatically. Elara, though accustomed to the harsh conditions of her home planet, helps Ethan adjust to the altitude. They pass through narrow tunnels and across precarious bridges, each step bringing them closer to the heart of the city. When they finally reach the summit, the sight before them takes their breath away. Machu Picchu, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, is a breathtaking sight. The city, built centuries ago by an advanced civilization, is a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. But Elara knows that this place is more than just a historical site. It is a repository of ancient knowledge, a key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. As they explore the city, Elara notices something peculiar. The stones, which should be cold to the touch, are warm, almost pulsating with energy. She kneels down, placing her hand on one of the stones, and closes her eyes. In her mind's eye, she sees images of the city's construction, of the people who built it, and of the rituals they performed. One particular image stands out: a large stone tablet, inscribed with symbols that match those on the crystal back in the temple. Excited, Elara leads Ethan to the location of the tablet. It is hidden behind a false wall, its surface glowing faintly in the dim light. Elara gently removes the tablet, revealing a hidden compartment filled with ancient texts and artifacts. Among them is a small, intricately carved pendant, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly light. "This is it," Elara says, holding the pendant up for Ethan to see. "This is one of the artifacts we need to stop the Voidwalkers. It contains the essence of the Elder Guard, a cosmic force that can restore balance to the universe." Ethan takes the pendant, his hands trembling with excitement and fear. "What now?" he asks. "Now," Elara replies, her voice filled with determination. "We find the others and put an end to this once and for all." Together, they continue their journey, driven by the knowledge that the fate of two worlds rests in their hands. The path ahead is fraught with danger, but Elara and Ethan are ready to face whatever challenges come their way. Their bond, forged in the fires of adversity, is unbreakable, and together, they stand as the last hope for a universe on the brink of destruction. Their next stop is the bustling streets of Tokyo, a city of neon lights and towering skyscrapers. As they navigate the crowded streets, Elara and Ethan are constantly on the lookout for any sign of the Voidwalkers. The city is alive with energy, its inhabitants going about their daily lives, unaware of the cosmic battle unfolding around them. Elara, with her heightened senses, can feel the presence of the Voidwalkers lurking in the shadows. She pulls Ethan aside, their faces pressed against the glass of a nearby shop window. "They're here," she whispers, her voice barely audible over the din of the city. "We need to be careful." Ethan nods, his eyes scanning the crowd for any sign of danger. "Where do we start looking?" Elara points to a nearby building, its facade adorned with glowing signs and advertisements. "There," she says. "That building houses one of the artifacts. We need to get inside and retrieve it before the Voidwalkers do." They make their way to the building, slipping past security and blending in with the crowd. Once inside, they move quickly and quietly, avoiding the prying eyes of the building's occupants. Elara leads them to a hidden room, its door guarded by a complex series of locks and sensors. Using her alien abilities, she disarms the security system, and they enter the room. Inside, they find the artifact, a massive, glowing orb suspended in midair, its surface swirling with colors and patterns. Elara approaches the orb cautiously, her hand reaching out to touch it. The moment her fingers make contact, the orb pulses with energy, and visions flood her mind. She sees the Voidwalkers, their dark forms moving with unnatural grace, their eyes glowing with malevolent intent. She sees the Elder Guard, a massive, ethereal figure that looms over the universe, its presence both comforting and terrifying. Ethan watches in awe as Elara processes the information. "What do you see?" he asks, his voice filled with concern. Elara takes a deep breath, her eyes still closed as she absorbs the visions. "The Voidwalkers are close," she says, her voice steady but tense. "They are planning to perform the ritual tonight at midnight. We need to act fast." With renewed urgency, Elara and Ethan gather the necessary tools and equipment to transport the orb safely. They move quickly, their movements fluid and precise. Once the orb is secured, they make their way back to the city streets, blending in with the crowd and avoiding detection. As they exit the building, Elara glances at the sky, where the moon hangs low and full. "Midnight is approaching," she says, her voice filled with determination. "We need to find the final artifact and meet the Elder Guard before it's too late." Ethan nods, his resolve firm. "Let's do this." Together, they race against time, their hearts pounding in their chests. The fate of two worlds hangs in the balance, and they are the only ones who can save them. The path ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear: they cannot afford to fail. Their final destination is the frozen tundra of Antarctica, a desolate landscape of ice and snow. The wind howls through the barren wasteland, cutting through their clothing like a blade. Elara, with her alien resilience, helps Ethan adjust to the harsh conditions. They trek across the ice, their footsteps leaving deep impressions in the snow. As they approach a massive glacier, Elara senses something ancient and powerful. She stops in her tracks, her eyes narrowing as she focuses on the source of the energy. "There," she says, pointing to a cave hidden beneath the ice. The final artifact is inside. They make their way to the cave, the entrance blocked by a massive ice formation. Elara uses her powers to melt the ice, revealing a narrow passage leading into the depths of the glacier. Inside, the air is cold and damp, the walls lined with icicles that glisten in the dim light. They proceed carefully, their footsteps muffled by the thick layer of snow on the ground. At the end of the passage, they find the final artifact, a massive, crystalline structure embedded in the ice. Its surface glows faintly, and Elara can feel the energy radiating from it. She approaches the structure cautiously, her hand reaching out to touch it. The moment her fingers make contact, visions flood her mind. Visions of the Voidwalkers performing the ritual, of the Elder Guard awakening, and of the universe teetering on the brink of destruction. Ethan watches in awe as Elara processes the information. "What do you see?" he asks, his voice filled with concern. Elara takes a deep breath, her eyes still closed as she absorbs the visions. "We are running out of time," she says, her voice filled with urgency. "The Voidwalkers will perform the ritual at midnight. We need to stop them." With renewed determination, Elara and Ethan gather the necessary tools and equipment to transport the artifact safely. They move quickly, their movements fluid and precise. Once the artifact is secured, they make their way back to the surface, their hearts pounding in their chests. As they emerge from the cave, the sky is dark, the stars twinkling faintly in the distance. Midnight is approaching, and the final battle is near. Elara and Ethan know that the fate of two worlds hangs in the balance, and they are the only ones who can save them. The path ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear: they cannot afford to fail. As midnight approaches, Elara and Ethan find themselves standing atop a mountain, the wind howling through the barren landscape. Below them, the Voidwalkers have gathered, their dark forms moving with unnatural grace. Elara can feel the energy building, the tension in the air palpable. The ritual is about to begin. Elara turns to Ethan, her eyes filled with determination. "We need to stop them," she says, her voice steady but urgent. "The Elder Guard awaits. We must act now." With a nod, Ethan grabs the artifacts, his heart pounding in his chest. Together, they race down the mountain, their footsteps swift and sure. They reach the Voidwalkers just as the ritual begins, their dark forms chanting in unison. Elara raises her hand, her eyes glowing with power, and releases a burst of energy that disrupts the ritual. The Voidwalkers stagger, their concentration broken. Seizing the opportunity, Elara and Ethan rush forward, their movements fluid and precise. They confront the Voidwalkers, their powers combining to form a formidable force. The battle is intense, the clash of energies creating a storm of light and sound. Elara uses her healing abilities to protect Ethan, while he fights with a fierce determination that surprises even himself. As the battle rages on, Elara senses the presence of the Elder Guard, a massive, ethereal figure that looms over the battlefield. The Elder Guard's presence is both comforting and terrifying, a reminder of the immense power at play. Elara reaches out with her mind, calling upon the Elder Guard for assistance. The Elder Guard responds, its form materializing before them. The Voidwalkers, sensing their impending doom, redouble their efforts, their attacks growing more desperate. But Elara and Ethan are relentless, their bond unbreakable. They fight with everything they have, their hearts pounding in their chests. Finally, with a mighty surge of energy, Elara and Ethan manage to overpower the Voidwalkers. The dark figures crumble, their power fading into nothingness. The ritual is disrupted, and the Elder Guard steps forward, its presence filling the battlefield with a sense of peace and balance. Elara and Ethan, exhausted but victorious, stand side by side, their hearts heavy with the weight of their actions. The Elder Guard addresses them, its voice echoing in their minds. "The balance has been restored. You have done well." Elara looks at Ethan, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she says, her voice filled with emotion. "Without you, none of this would have been possible." Ethan smiles, his heart full of pride and love. "We did it," he says, his voice filled with joy. together. And so the universe is saved, the balance restored. Elara and Ethan, having faced unimaginable challenges and overcome impossible odds, stand as heroes in the eyes of both worlds. Their journey, though fraught with danger, has brought them closer together, their bond stronger than ever. And as they look to the horizon, they know that their adventure is far from over. Subscribe now to witness the continuation of their epic tale, where new challenges and adventures await. Join us on this incredible odyssey.